opened Audrey's message. It was written in one long paragraph, with little punctuation and many spelling errors. And at first, I fixated on these grammatical irregularities as a way to mute the text. But the words would not be hushed. They shouted at me from the screen. Audrey said she should have stopped Sean many years ago, before he could do to me what he'd done to her. She said that when she was young, she wanted to tell Mother, to ask for help, but she thought Mother wouldn't believe her. She'd been right. Before her wedding, she'd experienced nightmares and flashbacks, and she told Mother about them. Mother had said the memories were false, impossible. I should have helped you, Audrey wrote, but when my own mother didn't believe me, I stopped believing myself. It was a mistake she was going to correct. I believe God will hold me accountable if I don't stop Sean from hurting anyone else, she wrote. She was going to confront him and our parents, and she was asking me to stand with her. I am doing this with or without you, but without you, I will probably lose. I sat in the dark for a long time. I resented her for writing me. I felt she had torn me from one world, one life, where I was happy, and dragged me back into another. I typed a response. I told her she was right, that of course we should stop Sean, but I asked her to do nothing until I could return to Idaho. I don't know why I asked her to wait, what benefit I thought time would yield. I don't know what I thought would happen when we talked to our parents, but I understood instinctively what was at stake. As long as we had never asked, it was possible to believe that they would help. To tell them was to risk the unthinkable. It was to risk learning that they already knew. Audrey did not wait, not even a day. The next morning, she showed my email to Mother. I cannot imagine the details of that conversation, but I know that for Audrey it must have been a tremendous relief, laying my words before our mother, finally able to say, I'm not crazy, it happened to Tara too. For all of that day, Mother pondered it. Then she decided she had to hear the words from me. It was late afternoon in Idaho, nearly midnight in England, when my mother, unsure how to place an international call, found me online. The words on the screen were small, confined to a tiny text box in the corner of the browser, but somehow they seemed to swallow the room. She told me she had read my letter. I braced myself for her rage. It is painful to face reality, she wrote, to realize there was something ugly, and I refused to see it. I had to read those lines a number of times before I understood them, before I realized that she was not angry, not blaming me, or trying to convince me I had only imagined. She believed me. Don't blame yourself, I told her. Your mind was never the same after the accident. Maybe, she said, but sometimes I think we choose our illnesses because they benefit us in some way. I asked Mother why she never stopped Sean from hurting me. Sean always said you picked the fights, and I guess I wanted to believe that, because it was easier, because you were strong and rational, and anyone could see that Sean was not. That didn't make sense. If I had seemed rational, why had Mother believed Sean when he told her I was picking fights, that I needed to be subdued, disciplined? I'm a mother, she said. Mothers protect. And Sean was so damaged. I wanted to say that she was also my mother, but I didn't. I don't think Dad will believe any of this, I typed. He will, she wrote, but it's hard for him. It reminds him of the damage his bipolar has caused to our family. I had never heard Mother admit that Dad might be mentally ill, Years before, I had told her what I learned in my psychology class about bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, but she had shrugged it off. Hearing her say it now felt liberating. The illness gave me something to attack besides my father. So when Mother asked why I hadn't come to her sooner, why I hadn't asked for help, I answered honestly. Because you were so bullied by Dad, I said. You were not powerful in the house. Dad ran things, and he was not going to help us. I am stronger now, she said. I no longer run scared. When I read this, I imagined my mother as a young woman, brilliant and energetic, but also anxious and complying. Then the image changed, her body thinning, elongating, her hair flowing, long and silver. Emily is being bullied, I wrote. She is, Mother said, like I was. She is you, I said. She is me. But we know better now. We can rewrite the story. I asked her about a memory. It was from the weeks before I'd left for BYU, after Sean had had a particularly bad night. He'd brought Mother to tears, then plopped onto the sofa and turned on the TV. I found her sobbing at the kitchen table, and she asked me not to go to BYU. You're the only one strong enough to handle him, she'd said. I can't, and your father can't. It has to be you. I typed slowly, reluctantly. Do you remember telling me not to go to school? That I was the only one who could handle Sean? Yes, I remember that. There was a pause. Then more words appeared. Words I hadn't known I needed to hear. But once I saw them, I realized I'd been searching my whole life for them. You were my child. I should have protected you. I lived a lifetime in the moment I read those lines, a life that was not the one I had actually lived. I became a different person, who remembered a different childhood. I didn't understand the magic of those words then, and I don't understand it now. I only know this, that when my mother told me she had not been the mother to me that she'd wished she'd been, she became that mother for the first time. I love you, I wrote, and closed my laptop.